Unfortunately, my wife was not able to make this particular panel, and she's going to be double jealous because there's two things that she loves. That is handsome leading men and gorgeous little dogs. So, tell us a little about Otis, because I know you're working with PETA to about adoptions, and so he's a big part of this.
Yes, Otis and I just did a PETA ad not long ago, and Otis, we met 9 years ago. He was hit by a car, and he had to have an operation, and everyone was chipping in for his surgery, and I went to the hospital to meet him for his surgery, and I fell in love with him. And we have been together ever since. He's the best.
Now, I also want to ask you about what kind of things has he brought into your life that you have? Were you always a dog person? Did you have dogs before?
I had some dogs when I was a kid, but Otis, I have to say, is the greatest dog.
That's cool. Well, look at him. He's working it. He is working it. This is a Hollywood dog. This is a Hollywood dog. He's working it.
And by the way, he's had a couple of acting roles. He was on FBI Most Wanted, guest star.
Was he a serial killer?
No, he was my undercover.
Oh, okay.
And then he was on a show called LA to Vegas, where he played another on that. So he's had a couple of, he's in between right now. His next role.
But he really wants to direct.
He really was a director.
So we're both from the same neck of the woods. We're both from Connecticut, Boston, New England area.
Yeah.
And you used to go into town, into New York City when you were younger, and work at your dad's bar.
Yeah, my dad was in New York, and my grandmother raised me with my dad in New York, so I go back.
So what was it like in the late 70s?
Sure.
Sneaking into New York at that time, because that was a wild period of New York history.
It was, yeah. That's my favorite time in New York was the 70s, because it was very artistic, you know. A lot of artists. Look at that.
Thank you, Otis. And he went right to Jen.
So yeah, it was a very artistic time. It wasn't commercial like it is now, so I really preferred it.
And what was your first acting gig? Not like Hamburger Hill, which was your first role, but I mean, were you doing off-Broadway? Were you doing your commercials? Were you spinning hot dog signs out on the street?
My first job, first role really was my adopted mother wrote a play. She wrote the Vagina Monologues, and she wrote a play that I was in when I was 15 years old, and that really was the beginning of it all. That play really sparked something in me, and she believed in me long before I ever believed in myself. So I think that really was the beginning. She really infused in me that I could be an actor. So, and I believed her.
What's it like having someone with that kind of support, that even when you don't believe in yourself, you know you have someone?
Well, I always say that all you need is one person to believe in you in life, and you can do whatever you want. You just need that one person. So whoever you are, if you believe in that person or somebody believes in you, that's all you need.
Is that she inspired your name?
She inspired my name. That's right. Yeah. She came up. She really. I mean, I don't know. I think I was her Frankenstein.
Well, it's always nice because I think a lot of people, especially I hear a lot of rhetoric about, being a biological parent versus, I think step parents are a huge advantage to a lot of children. And,
sure.
And for you, she was a huge...
She really was. She was a great influence on me, and still is, by the way. We've collaborated on many shows together, and so I always make her read whatever I'm doing, and hopefully she signs off on it.
So what's the one thing that she said you should do that you were like, I don't really think so, but it ended up being okay?
Let's see. A show called The Practice.
Another show called The Practice.
Yeah.
You were really like the...
I wasn't sure. I had been making movies. I'd never done a television series before, so I wasn't sure. And she read it and she really liked it.
And what was your hesitation? Just because it was television? Because I know back then it was different.
Yeah,
TV was not as cool. Like now you're doing Ryan Murphy stuff. That's prestige. That's top of the food chain.
Yeah, back then it was very different. Where there there was a real, line between movies and television. Now it's all blurred. But certainly back then, I just had never done television before, so I wasn't exactly sure, but it worked out.
Well, I'm going to have a couple more questions. We'll do very few, but if you want to start lining up and asking them questions, again, this is for you. I want you guys to take up most of the time. Talent is drawn to talent, and you have had, because of your talent, you've been in productions that have a lot of talented people in it. And so I just wanted to briefly touch on those real quick, because one of my heroes, Clint Eastwood, you worked with in The Line of Fire.
Yeah.
What was it like with him? Because I've only met him once or twice, and every time I've met him, he's been very quiet, very intense, but that was only for like 2 minutes. Also, he was very funny.
Yeah, he is very funny.
I told him, my dad used to watch you in Gunsmoke, and he goes, your dad is really old, and something like that. So what was it like working with Clint? Because that's got to be intimidating.
You grow up, watch. I used to go to Clint Eastwood movies with my dad too, and suddenly I'm on screen with him and I'm on set with him, so it was surreal. And I was suddenly there. I was an actor in my 20s, and there I was playing Clint Eastwood's partner. So it was, and still till this day, it was the perfect movie. In The Line of Fire, I think, is a great movie, a great director in Wolfgang Peterson, a great script. Clint was fantastic in the movie, terrific cast. Just everything worked. And I thought, oh, this is how movies are made. This is great. And I don't think it ever happened again. It's just like, really the experience of that movie was flawless. And he likes to just do a couple of takes, and that's it. He doesn't like to do a bunch of takes. I remember one day, the director, who was German, Wolfgang Peterson, said, "Hey Clint, let's try one more take." And Clint said, "Was I in focus?" He goes, "No, the focus was perfect, Clint." And he goes, "If I was in focus, let's move on."
And he's like that. He's not threatening.
Yeah.
But it's very definitive. So what kind of things did you take from him? Because
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. When someone is legendary and an icon, you're never going to duplicate that.
No.
So I felt my tact on the movie was to be as vulnerable as I possibly could, because my character was afraid of getting killed. He had premonitions about it. I guess you never watched a Clint Eastwood movie, because every single character, sidekick of Clint Eastwood gets killed. But so he had premonitions about dying, and so I tried to make my character as vulnerable as possible.
And then one other big one is Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
Where you played, I would say, superstar Julia Roberts' husband.
Yeah.
She was on the precipice. She was just about to be a superstar.
Yeah.
What was it like working with her and Sally and Dolly Parton and we had Shirley MacLaine and
It was my first big Hollywood movie, and I had done a movie before that called Hamburger Hill. We had no trailers. We had one costume, so if you got dirty, they would just hose you down on set with a water hose. The food was hairy chicken every day. That's all we ate. So suddenly, I'm on the set of Steel Magnolias. I'd never seen food like that in my life. The catering, the craft service, it was amazing. And then I'm there with some of the biggest stars in the world, so to watch them all work, and they all work differently, and Sam Shepard was there, and Sally Field. I was enamored of Sally Field, the way she worked and how hard she worked, and it was truly a magical experience.
I can imagine.
Absolutely.
Every one of those women is like Rushmore type.
Yeah, they were all superstars.
So I'm gonna move on to the audience. Because like I said, it's not about me. I got my time. Yay! So we'll start with you. Give me your name and a good question.
Oh, my name is Darren. I don't know if this is a good question.
Well, they're all good right now.
Where were you when you first heard of the whole Dylan McDermott, Mulroney thing, and what are your thoughts about it?
I'm sorry, what?
Never heard. This is the first time you've heard of it.
In fact, I thought someone was going to be on the panel, and then they told me.
Special guest.
Yeah, that's going back. That joke has been running now for 30-something years. It started when we were both young actors, and it's never ended. And I think it'll probably go to the grave of both of us.
Sorry for perpetuating it.
Thank you.
But there's worse people to be mistaken for, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, he's great.
But who else have you been mistaken for when people see you out in the world, natural
Yeah, there's been a lot of mistaken identity for me. The TMZ bus once pulled over when I was walking down the street in Hollywood, and they all jumped off, and the bus driver said, "There he is, there he is." And I was like, I was a little excited. Oh, they know who I am. And they were, "There he is, David Duchovny."
And much more she said it. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
that was a good question, just so you know. So, now, here to help.
Hi, my name is Starla. I loved your work on Law and Order, mostly organized crime, and, you're such a good villain, and, I love your voice. I love, how you can play kind of deep and dark character, but still human. I was wondering if you could tell us a couple of stories from being on set and working on organized crime?
Yeah, that was a great role. I had grown up in New York, and I used to wait on gangsters, mafiosos, and I would watch them when I was a kid. I was like 15, and I was always watching them, and they would come into the bar, so I knew exactly, how they dressed and what jewelry they wore and how they walked and talked, and I had been banking all of that for many, many years until a role came along. So by the time I got to organized crime, I was fully aware and fully ready because it was already in my toolbox. So that was a great role because I really knew who these guys were. My mother's boyfriend was a bank robber, so I knew some from him. So I was stealing little things along the way of my life. So by the time I got there, I was fully comfortable.
Thank you. Good. If you want, you can get to the end of the line and see if you can get another question.
Hi, my name is Olivia, and I guess my question would be, what was it like to emotionally prepare for a role, to be able to portray the character so truthfully when you had to play such darker characters, especially in American Horror Story, just those characters whose minds work so differently than ours. What was that like to open yourself to that prayer?
Yeah, I guess method acting is got a bad rap now, and it's a dirty word, but I would say that there are certain roles where I do use the method because I think it's necessary for me to not break. Like I did a movie called The Clovage Killer, and that was a very difficult character about a serial killer, BTK. So I just stayed in character for 3 months, and it was really difficult. On American Horror Story, I played many different characters. So there was one, I think it was Johnny Threston, Bloodyface. I was going to go live on the street in Hollywood for a week. So I remember my first night I went out, I was going to live on the street. And all of a sudden the TMZ bus rolls up again. And I was like, oh no, but now they know it's me. So my cover was blown, and I couldn't do it. But psychologically, you do enter those dark corridors when you play those characters. At least I do, and it's the only way you can really make it realistic. There are a lot of actors who they call cut and they can have coffee and bullshit, and I'm not usually one of those when I'm playing a character like that. But every character is different. Sometimes some are easier than others.
Do you have a hard time getting out of that character?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes there was a movie called Wonderland I did with Val Kilmer that I played a character, and I remember he had all these tattoos on him, and I was still drawing the tattoos on myself a week after the movie was over. I And so sometimes characters will go when they want to go, like on Ryan Murphy's Hollywood, that character really stayed with me for a long time. But they leave when they want to leave with me. You know, it's not always agreed upon. They kind of go when they want to.
And how loved ones react in that period? Are they understanding? How are you feeling about it? Like, do you like, oh, I just did the wrong thing there.
Well, no.
I didn't do a Dylan thing. I did a serial killer thing.
No, it's more internal than
Okay. Oh, good. And Otis is okay with it. He doesn't get on here because they're very vibe-oriented. I know him as a very emotionally empathetic.
as long as he gets fed.
Trying to get Otis every chance I can.
I'm Liz, and me and my dad just finished watching The Practice, which we loved, and I was wondering if there were any actors that you loved working with or that you ever clashed with.
Yeah, you know, there's one here today, Henry Winkler. I went over to his booth and said hello to him, and Henry's such a wonderful person, and I adore him, and he did such a great job on the show. I mean, a lot of actors came through there. A lot of actors won Emmys on that show, and it was like one after another. That was the show of its time. So a lot of actors wanted to be on that. That's the show you want to be on. You know, when you're a guest star, certainly you want to be on a show like that so you can show off your skills and win awards. And that's what that show was. So a lot of great actors came through there. Thank you.
Yeah. Henry's one of the nicest people in the show business, or at least as long as you're not Tom Hanks. But other than that, everybody seems to get everything great.
Absolutely.
But you recognized who you were.
Oh yes.
David, you got me. Come on.
Hey, my name is Lou Ann, and welcome to Salt Lake.
Thank you.
So, I'm a big fan. I watch all of the Law and Order, and you're definitely fit the role very, very well and very wicked. And then all of a sudden, one of my other favorite shows, FBI, all of a sudden you took over, and it's like, I don't know, I don't trust you yet.
Right.
It was really hard to trust you.
Yeah.
And then you're doing great. And as far as, was it hard for you to go from one side of the law to the other side of the law? As far as acting and...
No, I enjoy it. I remember I was doing American Horror Story in 1984 and also doing Hollywood at the same time. So, so I love sometimes playing two characters at once. For me, that's exciting. So to switch on to a different character, it was Dick Wolf. It was a Dick Wolf universe, so that was easy. Some of the crew was the same. We were essentially sharing a wall with organized crime, FBI Most Wanted. So it was an easy transition for me to go on to another show of Dick Wolf's. So it wasn't really that hard for me. I think it was harder for the audience than me.
Yes. And both casts, you got along great with?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Say which one was favorite?
No, we've got along great.
I think they're both
Yeah.
good casts, so thank you.
Thank you.
Do you think about that when you take a role? Like the emotional baggage that the audience has of you? Are you like purposely trying to disrupt that, or?
I didn't realize how difficult that actually is when a show is in place and a lead character is beloved. I was actually surprised how difficult it was and how to win people over. Although I enjoyed the challenge, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be.
Yeah, because TV, you're in their homes, which is different than in a movie where they're going out to see you. It's a date night. So every week on Thursdays or Tuesdays they see you, and then all of a sudden you're now supposed to be this trusted lawman. So like I said, is that something you do consider, like just on purpose, maybe to mix it up?
Yeah, because you can't play bad for too long. Although I enjoy playing bad guys, you can't play bad forever because then people think that you're only a bad guy. So I try to mix it up as much as I possibly can.
Which is also why we love LA to Vegas.
Yeah.
Even though it was very short, it didn't last very long, but we watched every episode. It was very funny.
Hi, I'm Dylan. My name's Gina. I'm a big, huge fan. I told you in our photo op. The FBI Most Wanted. Why did they get rid of the three FBIs were my favorites. I was a diehard every week with my mom.
Yeah.
And just a question for you, what's next now that you're done with FBI Most Wanted? Are you gonna do movies or television again?
You know,
Plans?
yeah, I mean, as an actor, you always have to reinvent yourself, right? It's something that I always try to stress, because you can't be the same guy your whole career.
Right.
So there's always a reinvention that happens. So I'm in that now, again.
Right, as I say, so do you have anything in the works though, as far as?
No,
Nothing?
I'm looking, I'm taking my time, I'm trying to find out what that is.
Right.
I don't want to rush it.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? I just worked for 5 years straight, and I want to just take a breath.
Take a minute.
Yeah, take a breath and figure out, what's next.
All right, well, I'm gonna miss the show, and
Thank
it's
you.
coming back this month, and I'm
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I'm Brandon first. Hamburger Hill, one of my all-time
Thank you.
favorite war movies.
Yeah.
And I'm a war movie guy, everything from Dirty Dozen to Hamburger Hill to a bunch of others. My question to you is there a role that you have coveted your entire career but you've never been able to play? Or is there a role that you've never wanted to ever play because it would just be not more of a challenge, but because we all like challenges?
Sure. Well, it's interesting, I always tell people this. Thank you for your question. You never become an actor to be rich and famous. You become an actor because you love it. Because it's so difficult, right? There's so many ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and it's a wonderful life. It really is, but it's difficult. It's difficult to have people want you and then people not want you. So I always say that the most important thing is that you love it, right? I tell my daughter this, is that you just have to love it. So in terms of what's coming for you next, I like complex roles. I like roles that are not just one thing. I think nobody's just one thing in life. We're a mix of a lot of different things. And I like to play the complexity in characters. So if I can find that in a character next, then I'll be immersed in it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know what's next. And I like the unknown. I like that I don't know, and that it's coming, and that I'm waiting for it. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for that next great character to arrive.
So I want to go on because you talking about what you want to do. Sitcom dad, is that something that'd be too
I really loved. I used to do stand-up comedy when I was a kid in New York, and I really enjoyed doing LA to Vegas because people don't necessarily think of me as funny. And I had done a movie with Will Ferrell, and I had hosted Saturday Night Live. And luckily, he produced that show, and I was able to convince them that I could do it. And I really, it's near and dear to me because comedy is just so much fun. You get to laugh all day long, and it's the best life you can possibly have. So if I can do comedy, absolutely.
which clubs?
The Catch a Rising Star.
Okay.
Yeah, I got thrown out of the cellar.
Oh.
Yeah, for not being funny.
Well, then
Best day of my life, by the way.
you learn that that's how
You
you
learn that's the best thing about life is when you actually learn these lessons, right? And you're not afraid to learn those lessons. So the Comedy Cellar, me and my friend, we had a duo called the Cuckoo Heads, and we were killing it around New York. And suddenly we went to the Comedy Cellar and we bombed, and they physically escorted us out of the club. And I was like, yes, this is it. This is the moment, because once you have that happen, you're already at the bottom. No one can touch you, and you're free. So it's the failures that you learn from.
What a sense memory you can now pull on, because I did the same thing. So
I know that you hate being pigeonholed into one kind of role,
Sure.
but I was 14 years old when Still Magnolias came out, which is prime crush time.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And then you did a bunch of rom-coms.
She's over you from here. I'm hearing she's over you.
Yeah, I'm good. But if you wanted to do rom-coms again, I'd watch them. That's what I'm saying. Hallmark Channel's always hiring. But my real question is, do you have any celebrity crushes? Is there a female actress that, like, if you had an opportunity to do another rom-com, that you would love to, like, work with?
For me, I grew up as a latchkey kid, and I watched a lot of television. It's ironic that I would end up on television most of my career, because I watched television like night and day. But my favorite of all time, Barbara Eden, I Dream of Jeannie. And she was kind enough to send me an autographed picture for my birthday in her Genie costume.
Oh.
Yes. So I just think she's the greatest, and I'm glad she's still with us.
She was supposed to be here, unfortunately.
No way.
Yeah, she was supposed to be today, and she had to cancel for some reason. But that would have been a dream come true.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hi there. I am really sorry to see how bad that was really a great show to watch. I do remember in the final season there was one long unbroken shot that ran like 7 to 8 minutes between the commission of the crime to the avalanche and the sunset. Was that difficult to shoot?
It was actually very difficult because it wasn't water, and it took up the entire day. And not only that, I had to run every single take. So I was literally running the entire day. And the only reason we're still not doing that shot right now is that I said I can't do it anymore.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking forward to your next project.
How was the Steadicam operator?
He was exhausted too. Everybody was exhausted.
So there are the rules that change your life, the rules that change your heart, and the rules that change your mind. What would be one of each of those for you and why?
Life, heart, and mind.
What was the last part of the question?
What would be one of each of those and why?
Oh, well, Hamburger Hill really, was the beginning. I never thought I was on Broadway when I was a kid, and I figured that I would be a theater actor. And then I auditioned for Hamburger Hill, but several callbacks, and I still never thought they were going to cast me. And that really changed everything. It was that first role, and to me, that's still in my heart is the greatest thing that ever happened in terms of my career, because it's so hard to break in, and that was the lead role in the movie. So that was really the beginning, and that's the nearest to me. Now, what's the second one?
The other one is, if I remember right, what changed your life? What changed your heart? And what changed your mind? So what was something that really made you fall?
I have to say Hamburger Hill to all those questions because it changed everything. My career really started taking off, and the New York Times wrote an article about my performance. It was in the movie out, and it began a whole different life for me. Rather than I was dedicated to being a theater actor, and that changed it all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A quick follow-up to that is, how did the practice, which is going to be, now it's more about popularity, about exposure, how did that change your life compared to, because you were doing really good jobs in movies, but then TV is such a different animal and can be such a much bigger as far as publicity.
Yeah.
How did that change?
The show became so enormously successful, and suddenly, you have all this new fame. So that was different for me. Suddenly I was thrust into a newer fame and more opportunities. But like I said, when you become successful, that's the good news and the bad news, because then you have to reinvent yourself again once you're successful, because I just can't be the guy from the practice, right? So now I have to reinvent myself. And I was aware of that when I was doing the show. And that's why when American Horror Story came along, I knew that this was a perfect opportunity for me to change the narrative of what people thought.
You mentioned Broadway. Do you sing? Maybe I should know.
Well, now that you mention that, I do have one song I wanted to sing to you tonight. No, I'm just joking. No, I don't.
Okay. So, but actually, my question was, I was a few minutes late, so I hope I'm not repeating one.
Okay.
Would you be able to talk about remaking a Christmas classic? That was a fun
Oh
one.
my God, yeah. I mean, wow. Miracle on 34th Street, which I've never signed more autographs for that movie than here.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
Utah is big on Christmas, I'll tell you that.
We're in a family-oriented
I'm
city.
telling you. So, yeah, that was beautiful. It was a beautiful movie. I mean, Sir Richard Attenborough, what a wonderful man. He and his wife, I was just enamored of he and his wife and their relationship. They loved each other so much. So I was really struck by their love, mostly. John Hughes, who was a terrific producer. The content of Miracle on 34th Street. Mara Wilson, who was tremendous. It was just one of those, like, great movies suddenly. And then, you know, I got to meet the Queen. We went to London, and I got to meet the Queen for the opening there. It was just, it really just was another magical experience in my career to make that movie.
She's back. I told you if you were listening, you'd be able to.
Sorry, Al.
No, it's okay. We're happy to have you.
I was just wondering if you could tell us one story from your time being on set for organized crime.
Sure. Let me see. Yeah, that, like I know, going back to that role, you really like that role. That guy was crazy.
I mean, I love Stabler, and
Yes.
I hated Richard Wheatley, but
He's a good rival to him.
yeah.
You know, I knew going into that, you know, because he, again, is such a beloved character, that I had to match him, you know, going into that. Otherwise, you know, I would look silly. So I knew exactly, like I talked to you before about this, I knew exactly who I was by the time I got there. But we had a big fight, I don't know if you remember, in the elevator. That fight took forever to film, and we were improvising that fight. I was sticking my finger in his eye, and he was biting my nose, and you know, it was just like a free-for-all. I mean, just a lot of it was choreographed, but then it was he and I. We both went to the neighborhood playhouse, so we were comfortable with each other in terms of what we wanted to do. But that fight scene, I think he bashes me with his head, and there's blood all over my face. It was just one of those great moments on set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, big fan. Now that you have a little break in between things, what are some of your favorite hobbies to do that, like help you unwind or reset yourself?
Oh, you know, I love to write. I've been working on my memoir for like 8 years now, so I still work on that when I can. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy being home. I'm never home. Finding home. I love to putter around the house and, you know, just make sure every screw is going in the exact same direction in the house. And fixing things. And I love reparation. Just fixing. I really enjoy that stuff, so I never get to do it, so I'm doing that now.
You still a big TV person?
I am, yes.
What are you watching?
Right now, we are watching Task and The Girlfriend.
I thought you were going to say Taskmaster, which is a game show with Britain. It's on too. It's very good.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and my favorite movie of yours is Home for the Holidays. And I watch it every Thanksgiving, whether it's when I'm making pies or the night after. I watch it a couple times. And my favorite character is Leo Fish.
Thank you.
You know, everybody who's seen it knows it's a beautiful cast.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's
Incredible.
I mean, you can't, like, it's like being in a movie.
It really was.
But Leo is like that, I think it's funny you say like comedy because he lifts the mood
Yeah.
of that whole movie.
Right.
And he taps into like, I don't know, hope for the family in the future. So, I mean, working with Jodie Foster, you know, I don't know if people know that she's, the braids you hand out. What was that experience like? Because it's just, I love that.
Yeah, to this day, Judy Foster is the only director I've ever worked with that we rehearsed. We rehearsed for 2 weeks, I believe. And usually in film, no one rehearses. Usually you get there and you read the sides and rehearse the day of, but you never actually rehearse the entire script. And I believe this is why Judy Foster is a great director, because we did rehearse. We went through every single moment. So by the time we got to set, it was so easy to film that movie. And I never understood for the life of me why no one directs. I mean, when no one rehearses, they just do it on the day. So I think that's why she's such a great director, and she did a phenomenal job. And that movie, I believe, still holds up to this day, even though we made it in the mid-90s. It still holds up.
It's a gem. Anybody who hasn't seen it, please see it.
Yeah.
And I think, I like that you shared that, because it reads up when you watch it, it's like a play. And you can tell, the interactions are between, the chemistry between the people. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful movies I've seen.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. And when I saw it right here, I was like, I have to ask about Home for the Holidays, because I'm
Leo
obsessed
Fish,
with that.
great character.
The yellowfish and that lamp.
Yes.
And his interaction with the ant. I mean, I could go on. It's just, I love it so much. And I just want to let you know that.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's obscure. People know about it. If you don't, please watch it.
Home for the Holidays, watch
Home
it.
for the Holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just want to remind folks that we still have some time with Dylan, so if you have some questions, I know some of the more shy people, she waited to the last second to jump up, so I really appreciate it, but I'm happy to answer more questions. I've got some.
Sure. Say good evening. Thank you for coming. My name's Amy. I just wanted to know, what are some of your personal favorite movies, TV shows, books? Just your personal favorites.
Let's see, favorite novel, Crime and Punishment. Favorite movie, I have to say, Godfather 2. What else did you ask?
TV shows as well.
Oh, TV show. Well, I can imagine Dreamers, of course. I like all the 70s shows, The Courtship of Penny's Father.
I know what that is.
Adam's Family.
I got right here.
I like all those old shows.
Manix.
Yeah, Madness.
Columbo's on that. Columbo's a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're working with Ryan Murphy quite a bit, or have been at least recently. This is not a condescending question, so I'm going to make sure I don't phrase it so you get upset. What the heck does he see in you?
I have no idea.
No, but what is it about working with Ryan Murphy? Because he does keep bringing you back, and you're perfect for what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I think Ryan really, and he does this not only with me, with a lot of actors, he allows you to be you, and you can create characters with him. And he gives you that permission. And that seems like a very cavalier thing to say, but it's actually true, where he believes in the actors that he casts, and he trusts them. And he's done that with me. I've created some of my greatest characters because he gave me the permission to do that. And that's why I love working with him. I'm not sure a lot of other producers would do that with me. But Ryan really has allowed me to do that over many years now. It's been, 15 years. It really is, and that's why he's one of the great producers, because he does that.
And how is his productions different than anybody else's besides, like physically on there? Is it you're on a Ryan Murphy production? Or how do you know? Like if I'm going to go co-star with you for a second, which is never going to happen, well, how would I know that I'm on Ryan Murphy set versus anyone else?
He surrounds himself with the best of the best. You're getting the best costume designer, you're getting the best lighting, you're getting the best actors. That's how it works. And you want to work for him. So and when he calls you, when he calls me now, I don't even ask what it is, I just say yes.
Now, does that make you feel like I put my game on A+ mode?
Always, yeah, 100%.
Because, well, there's a lovely lady to ask a question. What's your name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
You've worked on so many films and TV shows and projects. Is there anyone in particular that maybe changed the way you look at your own life through any relationships or just how you look at life in general, or anything that changed you in that way?
You know, I think that a lot of times you're always evolving, you know what I mean? I feel I worked for a long time, and then it may have been even the politician, Ryan Murphy's show. I started changing the way I worked, where I would improvise more suddenly, where I hadn't really done that for a long time. And then I noticed that I really liked that. I liked improvising, I liked adding my own words, and sticking to the script, but also adding my own stuff. And really, that changed me. Because now the words were suddenly more mine. You know what I mean? I think it's good to stick to the script, but sometimes it's good to go off of it. And from that moment on, I think I started working differently. And I was freer. And I cared less about what you thought of me being the audience. And I cared more about me having fun and enjoying myself and knowing that acting is for me, not for you. I think when I was a young actor, I was trying to prove to you that I was a good actor. And now I don't care about that. I only like it for me now. And if I smile at something I did today, I had a good day. Thank you.
Well, my last question, and we'll let you get back to it. When you think about things that you want to do in the future, is there certain people that you gravitate towards? Not just like they're the best, obviously like the Steven Spielberg type, because obviously he's going to be in the profession, but are there people that we may not even know about because they're not like superstars, but they're top-notch quality folks that you feel that you'd like to work with again, or that you know of by reputation that you'd like to work with?
Yeah, I think, why people end up working with the same people is because they know and trust them. So for me, it's obviously Ryan Murphy, it's obviously Dick Wolf, producers who believe in me and know I can get the job done and not worry about me. I think you want to feel comfortable, I think you want to feel trusted. So I think that's all.
Absolutely. Last question, and then we'll let it go.
I'm just curious, when you're acting a scene, do you feel that kind of mojo, where this is for sure a good take? And how often is that take actually a good take? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's funny, acting, you don't know what take anyone's going to use. I try to mix it up as much as I can, but again, it's for me. I don't get much enjoyment when I'm watching it. If I give a performance and someday I'm watching it in the theater or I'm watching it on television, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not getting a lot of joy out of it. The joy really is, for me, is in the doing, in the moment. Whatever that moment is between you and me. And if I have that and we're in sync, and I feel like we're surfing together in the script, in the moment, that's the joy I get. You know what I mean? So if it's real and I'm connecting it and I feel alive and I'm not insecure, I'm not thinking about the crew, I'm not thinking about you, and I'm just in the zone, as we call it, right? Whether you're an athlete, musician, actor, whatever, artist, whatever it is, when you're in the zone, that's the beauty of art.
Well, I hope today ended in a smile for you. And we're really happy you're here. So on behalf of FanX in Utah, please give a huge round of applause. Please don't see any pictures. And thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out. Really appreciate it.